Welcome back to Gemini Studio. My name is AJ and this is part 2 of creating a form in Framer. So in the previous video we saw how to add this form, how to modify the fields, and even how to change the color of the text, the placeholder text, the actual border when you click in them in a focus state, and the color of the actual text that you type inside, like for instance that color right there. All right, now in this part we are going to continue modifying the form to make it look better. So before doing anything else, we are going to add a background so we can see how the form actually looks in front of it. So remember, this is a simple form. You can leave it as is, or if you want to be more creative, you can add a background to it. So I'm going to go ahead and let's close some of these layers here so we can see what we're doing better. So the form, I'm going to close it, and now we have this main stack. And then inside the form stack we have the entire form. So we're going to select let's select the form section, which is the stack housing the form, and we are going to add a color to it. So I'm going to click here and I'm going to select, instead of a solid color or a linear, I'm going to select a radial gradient. So I'm going to select that, and you can see I have a lighter version here and a darker color. So I'm going to select that dark color and I'm going to actually make it black. All right, and then the lighter version of it, let's select a green. Just play around with this and see what we can come up with. Yeah, something like that looks cool. And let's give this a test, see how it looks. All right, it's looking a little bit better. Maybe I should, yeah, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make that background color a little bit darker. So let's push this down a little bit, something like that. Yeah, I think that looks better. And now when we click on it, you can type the name and has a better contrast. Perfect. Now let's see, we are going to make this a little bit more interesting. We are going to select the main container and we are going to add a fill, but instead of a color we're going to select images, plugins. I'm going to use splash, and I think this is fine. I can select that image, and the reason we cannot see it is because in front of that image there is this form stack that has this radial color. So I'm going to select the lighter color here, the green, and I'm going to change it from 100%, in other words, it does not have any transparency. So we're going to give this 50% to make it transparent. And now if we test it, that's how it looks. It looks great. However, it's kind of hard to see the form. So we're going to change that. And in order to do that, let's select the actual form. And as you can see, this is the space or where the form ends. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to increase the padding from 20 to 40 all around. So this is going to push the content a little bit towards the center because we added some padding. So if you want to adjust that, select that form and let's change that from 420 to 440. There you go. Now it looks like, the same length as before, but it also has more space around it. Now with the same form selected, let's add a field, and I'm going to select black, and I'll give this a 35% transparency, and I'm going to change these borders. I'm going to give it a radius of 32, and yeah, that looks much better. Now as you can see, it looks better. However, you can still see through it and it's kind of hard to read. So we're going to change that by adding some blur. So select that form again. Let's go to styles, click on it and select filters, BG blur for background blur. And now the new fill was added and I have a 5% blur effect. I'm going to increase that to 10. And I just want to note something, that I always use 10% blur because if you go above that, you can see this warning saying large blur values can impact performance. So remember, you always want to keep things simple so your websites run smoothly in every device. So I'm going to change that back down to 10, but feel free to use whatever amount you want. Okay, so now if we test this, we can see that the background you can still see through the form, but now you can read the form way better. And if you want to improve this a little bit more, we can actually click on the form, and let's see, on the fill, it's a black color at 35%. Let's bring this up to 50, and there you go. Look at that. It looks much better. Let's see, Jane and Smith. And by the way, if you see, this should only, the placeholder should only have first name. So let's change that real quick. So select this field, and under placeholder it should only say the first name, and on the last name it should only say the last name, which in this case is Smith. There you go. Perfect, guys. All right, so now we have a contact form that looks way better than it used to before, or when you first add the form to Framer. And now we are going to test this so that you can actually see how it works when you send, okay, when you hit submit. So what we are going to do here is we are going to add an email. So you got to select the form, and then with the form selected, you can see an option. Where was it? Okay, it says form right here. You see, if you select something else, it's not gonna work. You gotta select the actual form, and there will be a section called form, and it says send to. Click here, and you have email, webhook, or Google Sheets. You have different options that you can play with. I'm going to select email, and now you can put your email right here in this field. And then I'm gonna leave these next fields as they are. So it's gonna come from Framer, and it's gonna say new submission, and the actual message will say you've just received a new submission. Okay, so with that out of the way, we can actually test this out. Let's hit play, and I'm going to type Jane Smith this at that.com 12345678990, and I'm going to select option A, and I'm going to select Amsterdam. And now when I click submit, please include and add. Okay, so we have an error here because this field is set up as an email instead of a phone number. So I'm going to come back here, select the phone field, come to the right hand side, and you can see the type says email. So I'm going to change that to a phone number. Perfect. All right, let's give this another go. Jane Smith. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Option A, Amsterdam. And now let's click submit, and there you go. It says thank you. Now we are going to go ahead and check that email. Now I'm here on my email, and as you can see, I have received a new email. And look at that. Now we have, you've just received a new submission. It says the name, last name, email, phone number, the location, and the option. Now the reason why this here does not reflect the actual, we forgot to change something here, and that would be by selecting, for instance, this field. It says email and the name email, and under phone number it should say here phone number as well, phone number. And then for the options, instead of location, it should set options. This one says location, and then this one should say last name, and this one should say first name. Okay, so let's give this another go. So Jane Smith 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 0. Okay, I think that works. 0 Amsterdam. Send. There you go. You've just received a new submission. First name, last name, email, phone number, option A, and location. And if you were to select a text field, you will get the message down here as well. Great, and that is how you create a form in Framer. Now there's a lot more that you can do, but this is enough to get you started, guys, and create something really cool in Framer. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know in the comments down below, and I will be more than happy to help you guys out. Thank you very much, guys, for watching. Click that like and subscribe button to help me with the algorithm and help other people as well that might be looking for this information to find it. And again, don't be shy. If you have any questions, please let me know. I'll do the best to help you guys out and to get back to you and your question. And until next time, have a good time. Take care of yourself.